Y'all already know who it is, man. It's your boy, Underrated Major. Today I'll be doing a video discussing the best Fairy Tail spinoff. Now, with the news of Fairy Tail actually getting possibly returning, all the news articles circling around Fairy Tail saying stuff like, oh, is Fairy Tail going to come back? Is it going to be a new Fairy Tail spinoff? You guys know me. I made hundreds and thousands and millions of videos discussing a new Fairy Tail series, but I sat back and I thought to myself, okay, we already have a couple Fairy Tail spinoffs and a couple Fairy Tail side stories, and I want to today just discuss and rank all of the Fairy Tail side stories that we've gotten and all the Fairy Tail spinoffs that we've gotten. Now out of this ranking, I'm going to be ranking the Fairy Tail Girls spinoff, the Fairy Tail Blue Minstrel spinoff, the Fairy Tail Flash of Lightning, the Twin Dragons, the Ice Trail, and all those ones. I'm going to be ranking all of them from my least to favorite. So yeah, I think this will be a very fun video to do, and in light of Fairy Tail actually getting a new series, this is why I'm going to want to do it. So without further ado, that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and get into the rankings. Now, this is going to be, I'm starting off from the bottom, like the rankings, I'm starting off from the bottom going all the way up to the top. So my least favorite one is Fairy Tail Girls. Now, this one, number one, the main thing that threw it off was the art. Like, if you guys didn't know, for majority of the Fairy Tail spinoffs, if you read them, you would be able to recognize that the art style is different. And the main reason why the art style is different is because it's not actually Hiro Mashima writing them. No, he lets other mangaka, other manga artists draw it, and he'll basically, he'll tell the story, but he'll let other people draw it. So that's why the arts are usually different. And I'm not gonna lie, this art just completely threw me off. Like, I don't know who drew this, I don't know who was the illustrator, but number one, the art was just too, it was too girly for me. And I get it, it was a thing about Fairy Tail Girls, and Fairy Tail Girls was basically about the main girls of the series, Lucy, Wendy, Urza, Juvia. It was basically just them doing their own little thing, which another reason why I wasn't really too much of a fan of it is because it kind of seemed like something that would be like for an OVA or like a fillerish type thing. Like, I don't know, I just wasn't a very huge fan of it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, I wasn't really drawn in by it. The art style was weird, the plot was pretty weak, and I'm not gonna sit here and judge it on the plot too hard, because again, this wasn't meant to be like, a Fairy Tail Zero when it was like giving us like so much exposition, so much plot. No, this, I understand what this was meant to be. It was meant to be a fun little series. And listen, if you guys liked it, if you guys enjoyed it, then that's cool, because that's what it was meant to be, a fun little series. However, I did not enjoy it as much, and yeah, that's why I got it ranked as the bottom. Now, my second least favorite is actually Fairy Tail Blue Minstrels. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking, okay, this guy's just sexist. He got two of the side series that revolve around girls at the bottom. But no, trust me, it's not that. It's not that. Fairy Tail Blue Minstrel, to me personally, I seen it as kind of, I don't know, it was kind of weird, because Fairy Tail Blue Minstrel, with this, it was basically focusing around Wendy and, her little cat Carla, and them doing their own little thing. And I was just wondering to myself, I was like, okay, this is kind of weird, because we got introduced to them in the main storyline. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got them, we were introduced to them in the main storyline, and we seen them, kind of grow with us, but it had them going on their own little adventure, doing all this, weird stuff. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, okay, why couldn't they just like show this in like the main storyline? Because why couldn't they just like show us a part of their flashback or something like that? But I don't know, me personally, I was not really too much of a fan of this, and not to mention the art was kind of throwing it off too. I don't like that whole big eye, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that type of art style. So yeah, Fairy Tail Blue Minstrels, for me personally, it was okay, but me personally, I did not enjoy it as much as the others. But hey, that's just me. That's why I got it as my second least favorite one. Now, this one might come as a shocker, as my third least favorite side spinoff is the Flash of Great Lightning. That's actually the Laxus one, and you guys know me. Laxus is one of my fan favorite characters. He's one of my favorite characters, period. I think he's dope. However, this spinoff for me personally didn't really do anything, and the main thing that I was hoping that this spinoff did, I was hoping that it gave us Laxus's past, because we know that Laxus, yeah, we do know about his past, but basically I want to see him as like a kid, because we've seen the other spinoffs, which I'm gonna talk about later, and what they did. And I think it would be dope if we got to see basically Laxus, him with his father, growing up, him getting the dragon, Lacrima placed inside of him and everything. I think that would have been dope, that would have been amazing. but they didn't go that route, and they actually went ahead and did something different. You know, it was mainly about showing Laxus and his group like what they did during the time skip, and I think that was pretty cool to see that. But me personally, I want to see something different. You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of already knew what they were doing before. But yeah, me personally, I wasn't really. I mean, it was a cool spinoff, but compared to the others, I just think that this one kind of, you know, it kind of fell to the back burner. But the one thing I do gotta say is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Hiro Mashima actually did draw some of this, because the art style for the Fairy Tail, the Great Lightning thing, it was actually very reminiscent to Fairy Tail, like the original story. It's either Hiro Mashima drew some of this, or the person who was drawing it made it pretty close to how the original Fairy Tail art style was, which I think is dope. So yeah, me personally, I definitely do gotta say that the Fairy Tail art style and the Fairy Tail Laxus thing was actually very close to Fairy Tales, and it made it a lot more enjoyable. That's why I got it as my third least favorite. And all right, at this point, though, I'm gonna be honest, the only real 2 months I didn't like was the Fairy Girls and the Fairy Tail Blue Mission. So from here on forth, when I say least favorite, don't take it as I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it as that. So yeah, Fairy Tail, Flash of Great Lightning, I got that as my third least favorite one out of the spin-offs. Now the next one I'm going to talk about is the Fairy Tail Twin Dragons one, and this one was actually my second. This was actually a sleeper. I'm not going to front, because I saw this and I was thinking to myself, okay, it's going to revolve around Sting and Rogue. I wasn't really thinking too much about it, but this one actually turned out to be heat. Like, yes, this one actually turned out to be fire. I enjoyed it a lot. I like seeing Sting and Rogue going on their own little mission, and the difference between this and why I was actually more excited for Sting and Rogue's going on their own mission than people like Laxus is because Laxus is seemingly like a main character in the series, you know, or he might be a main side character, whatever you want to call him. So I want to see more about his past. But with these characters, I want to see what they did as a guild. Like with Sting and Rogue, I want to see what they did as a guild, all this stuff, and it did not disappoint. I mean, seeing them fighting up against all these different, you know, new guilds, seeing them really flex and doing their thing, and even the whole relationship between Yukino and all that, everything about this was just dope, and I enjoyed it a lot. So the Fairy Tail Twin Dragons, me personally, I think it was, I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to front. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. And as far as the art style goes, this one kind of had its own little tone, but at the same time you could kind of see the Fairy Tail resemblance. Like, I like the fact that this one kind of reminded me of like a Boku no Hero type. If you guys know what Boku no Hero is, it kind of reminded me of that, you know what I'm saying? I like this art style a lot. It kind of had its own little flair, but at the same time they kind of pay homage to the original Fairy Tail art style. So yeah, Fairy Tail Twin Dragons was actually my fourth least favorite, I guess you could say it like that, but it was basically my fourth favorite, or, you know, you guys know what I'm trying to say, you know, it's kind of hard saying it, but yeah, that's why I got that at number 4. Now coming in at number 5, or I guess at this point I'm gonna say number 3. Let me actually go ahead and, so Fairy Tail Girls is number 7, Blue Mission is number 6, Flash of Green Lightning is number 5, Twin Dragons is number 4. Coming in at number 3, I want to show you, clarify that, because I don't want people thinking that I'm going backwards. But coming in at number 3 for my third favorite spinoff is Fairy Tail Road Knight, and this is basically the spinoff for God Geo. And God Geo, you guys know, at one point he was my favorite character in the series, you know, like period. But over time, got overtaken by Zeref. But this is a spinoff series regarding around God Geo and his past and everything. And me personally, I gotta say that this was dope, simply because we got to see what God Geo was doing before the Phantom, before he actually was in the Phantom Lord. Because we all thought that the Phantom Lord was like God Geo's like origins and all that stuff, and we thought that he was basically, you know, that's what he was doing from the start. But we actually found out that he had connection with the Magic Council, with somebody from the Magic Council, even in this. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, yo, this is dope. And we got to see God Geo actually work with the Crime Sorcery, you know, Cobra, all of those guys, and this was just straight up amazing, you know what I'm saying? I like this stuff a lot. Like God Geo, this was actually dope and a great way for God Geo to get some shine, because I'm gonna be honest, out of all the Dragon Slayers, for some reason it feels like that God Geo is the one that always gets, you know, like left behind. I don't know, he always seems like that he gets left behind out of all the Dragon Slayers. Like, he was the last person to get Dragon Force and everything. So yeah, me personally, I am happy that Gajio's side story actually did turn out to be great. He's still, you know, I'm always gonna have love for the character of Gajio because he was kind of my first favorite character in the series. So yeah, that's why I'm happy that his spin-off turned out great. Now, my second favorite spin-off is Fairy Tail Ice Trail. Now, this one was a complete shocker too because they were doing a spin-off about a main character. Okay, I know some people, they don't really consider Gajio or Laxus a main character, but Gray, he is without a doubt a main character, and they're actually going in on the past of Gray. So this is kind of like a huge leap to make. You know what I'm saying? You gotta execute this well because this is a fan favorite character, Gray. He's one of the 4 main characters: Natsu, Lucy, Urza, Gray. So at this point, we're kind of going into like a risky territory, but they pulled it off, they executed it well, and I like this a lot. Now, number one, I do like seeing Gray's past. I do like seeing him in the little, we thought that we saw all of Gray's past, but we got to see him even before the whole little village thing, and I was thinking to myself, this is dope. Like, this is fire. This is amazing. Seeing him team up with that other kid, and even seeing Gildarts get involved, you know, Gildarts showing the relationship between him and Gray. And I think that they did that so that Gildarts could kind of be like the bridge for the childhood when it comes to the 2 main characters, like Natsu and Gray. They both had some type of connection with Gildarts. I think that's one of the main reasons why they did that. So yeah, I definitely do gotta say that Gray and Gildarts, that whole little relationship was dope. Gray finally learning how to use ice magic and utilize it well. Everything about Fairy Tail Ice Trail was dope to me. And last but not least, you guys already know Fairy Tail Zero. This one is no competition. This is basically, I don't even, you know, this isn't really even like a side story. This is kind of like a prequel because not only was this written by Hiro Mashima, this is also drawn by Hiro Mashima, and I'm pretty sure that he had all of the say in how Fairy Tail Zero went, and he basically knocked it out the park. I mean, seeing the origins of Fairy Tail, you know, all this stuff, seeing how Zeref was basically friends with the first founding fathers of Fairy Tail, everything about Fairy Tail Zero was dope. Seeing Mavis, how she basically ended up getting cursed, and the fact that this got animated alone makes it the greatest spin-off for Fairy Tail. So yeah, overall, those are my rankings for the Fairy Tail spin-off. Me personally, I believe Fairy Tail Zero is the best Fairy Tail spin-off. Coming at number 1, I'm gonna just go through the rankings again in case some of you guys were confused. Coming at number 1 was Fairy Tail Zero. Number 2, Fairy Tail Ice Trail. Number 3, Fairy Tail Roto Knight. Number 4, Fairy Tail Twin Dragons. Number 5, Fairy Tail Flash Great Lightning. Number 6, Fairy Tail Blue Mitchell. And number 7, Fairy Tail Girls. So yeah, overall, especially for this long ranking, what do you guys think is the best and the worst Fairy Tail spinoff out of all of them? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. I will be watching and peeping all of them. Comment what you guys think down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.